Hey guys, are you ready to play your best golf? This is going to be a very detailed, complete little series that I'm going to discuss because after all of the Zooms that I've done and all of the membership stuff, I want to kind of get into a little more detail. We'll talk a little bit about the right-sided swing and the release, the left-sided release, and what I would call kind of, as a late Herbie Pinnock would say, is the mythical perfect golf swing, and get into details of that. So stay tuned on this, and if you like this, like and subscribe and share. And I'm going to do my best to put out at least one video a week during the season. I'm still working behind the counter for the rest of this year at the golf course. So my time is limited. I'm doing the best I can to try to keep this. There's been a lot of comments asking for this kind of video. And there's been also, and I try to respond to all comments, of course, do all the Zoom lessons and all the membership stuff. So I'm busy, but I'm doing the best I can because a lot of people have said, hey, I'm your teacher, I'm your guy. So I want to give you the best stuff that I can. So that being said, thank you guys. All right, so here we go. Ready to be the best version of you. So we're going to talk about, and again, I have to assume that you guys, some people have not seen my 160 plus videos, and this might be the first time that you're seeing this in the algorithm. So I'm going to go over a little bit of detail about the grip. And the grip is really just how your hands hang in front of you, and then they just cock up and down. The right hand, what they call the wrist bone, the scaphoid bone, is right on top. And the easiest way to do this is to have the golf club go right over your shoulder. If you can do that, then you are in the right spot. I will go into slight little detail again because a lot of people have not seen this. You're going to put the grip in the second joint of the finger, called the phalanx, and it's going to go right on the line of the pinky, right on the very, very, very first joint. Okay, you're going to choke down about a ½ inch because you don't want the golf club to be here. It'll be in the palm, so it's going to be slightly down. The thumb is going to be together, and there's a difference between a long thumb, which overextends the forearm like so, and then there's going to be a short thumb, which is, you're going to see how they match here, and that's how your hand hangs. If you see, if I took my hand away, it'd be in the same position as it is. So try to practice that. It's a real big important thing because that's what makes the left hand be able to make that little conical action through the ball like it's supposed to, and the left wrist to go into extension. Okay. So again, right off the bat, this is going to be a complete detail. You know, get your popcorn, watch it several times. I'm going to go over some details. Like I said, a lot of people have been wanting this. I'm also will be putting this probably in book form, as I'm going to be into doing, as I've already started doing that. Okay, so the right hand is going to be the second joint if you are gripping it with the pinky on top. If you grip it and you have small fingers, and then you would put it all in the first, and then the pointer finger would be in the second. And the reason why is because your thumb is not there supporting your hand position. So you guys can see this right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put my pinky on top, and when your pinky goes on top, it then goes into the second joint, and then the hand wraps around it. Now you don't put pressure on that thumb either because then that squeezes the muscle. So there would be a light pressure, but it's really in this little trigger finger here. This finger, this pinky lays, and I'm coming here close so you can see it, lays right on top. Even though Sam Snead did do it in the groove and Norman did kind of a mid thing and all that, they're all golf pros, you're not. So I'm just trying to keep it where your right hand can easily get into this position, because this will lead us into a huge thing here, because ultimately the easiest way to always think about a golf swing, if you can, is that the golf club is just going to be over your shoulder at the top of your golf swing with the same width. And that's the #1 goal, because then we can get into some good positions at impact. All right, again, complete detail. So when your right hand is a little bit under like so. And I see this in probably 90% of my students. First is that wrist bone is set to the side. So when that happens, the forearm can't really rotate. So the club face stays closed and more facing the ball for a long time. And what that then does, and you can see it from this angle, is it then makes the left wrist bow and the club, what they call lay off or get into a very bad position here that you now have to make compensating moves for, okay? So once you get this on top, and your hands can do that, then we're gonna get into the very first part of the golf swing. Now, interestingly enough, the very first part of the golf swing is actually some little mini small move towards the target, because you have to break up inertia and we have to use Newton's laws of physics. So and you can do this varies a couple different ways, okay? Some I'll get the right foot pushing and rolling inward, or a downward press of the left foot, or maybe even a little body press or bump of the left hip. But you have to be real careful not to open the body. If you open the body this way, more than likely you're going to do the opposite on this way, which is spin the body first, okay? So we're going to practice getting a little bit of pressure going into the left foot. Now, this is the reason why, I'll take my club now. One of my favorite drills, and this again is from, and I learned from everybody, okay, from the early 1900s on. I've read every book. So if somebody says, hey, this sounds like such and such, this is, we're all copycats of some form of other golf pro. Like, unless you're the very first golf pro, you're regurgitating something somebody said that you like that makes sense in kinesiology and physics, okay? So one of the reasons why I love the little Harvey Penick water bucket drill in the beginning for people is, and if you want to, you can put your thumbs together, kind of make like an imaginary bucket there, is if you just have just enough momentum to feel the water not slosh, because that's how people would start taking the club away, then what you'll start to feel is the weight pressure goes from left. And by the way, shift and pressure is different. So I'm talking about a little bit of actual weight, it's pressure, okay? So if you shift weight, you're gonna be more like this. Pressuring the ground is really what you're trying to do. I don't wanna but you have to use the ground, okay? So, but if you take this little bucket just to the side, which the golf swing is much more of a motion to the side first. It's always sideways first, never turning, okay? So you'll take it to the side just a little bit, okay? And your hands won't even really move much, okay? They're not gonna be it's not a hand press. You'll start changing wrist angles, right? So when you do just a little bit of a press here, then you're gonna immediately feel this little rebound shift that goes into the right. This is real important because it's gonna load up a cuboid bone that's in your foot. You're gonna have your knee keeping the same flex as it starts to do that early, because a lot of people in the beginning, when I tell them to roll their feet, they start straightening the leg quickly, right? So that throws off balance, because now you're not gonna have the weight go this way. So you've gotta have that little shift back, just like so, and then from there to there. Now I'm gonna do that with a golf club, and you're gonna see that same little shift. And if I had a golf ball right there, you'd see that it would not move, okay? So from here, you can now see that I'm gonna go from left and then back into right. Okay, so I'm gonna put this little alignment stick here. I put it right here for this reason. And I'm gonna talk a little bit about, well, posture, because none of this matters if your posture is not right. And tons of videos about how to get in the correct posture. You'll see some where I talk about standing on one leg and you'll get the balance and all that. But I'm gonna go over, like again, complete detail here. I'm gonna just kind of put the club on the navel here, okay? Right on the belt buckle, right? And so what I want you to do is you're just going to keep, this is a xiphoid process all the way down to the pubis bone is gonna stay the same. Your butt is going to go back and your spine is at 12 o'clock or close to 12 o'clock, right? It's actually not 12 o'clock unless you tuck your butt under, but you can see it's pretty close to 12. So from here, as I stick my butt back, my spine's gonna be about 1 o'clock. And when I get to about 1 o'clock, I'm gonna have just the teeniest bit of knee flex to take pressure off the spine. And when that happens, I can then put a golf club in the middle of my foot, and you'll see that it'll go right up into the middle of my hip and into my spine. And that means I'm balanced, I'm not top heavy, back heavy, or anything of that nature. Problems would be like this that you could see. Then I'm gonna have to make some kind of compensating move. Or if I'm too straight and too bent over, which is what I see most people like this, then from here, you're gonna see from here, you have to now make compensating moves this way, okay? So you get in that posture here. Another checkpoint is the arms hang straight down from the side, about 1 hand width away from your leg. When you get your grip and you put it on the ground, you then should be able to drop your right hand off the golf club, and you'll see that I'm in the same position that I can put it on the shaft. And then one other little mini thing about the head is not up like this, okay? You can't really rotate it, and nor is it way down like this. It's literally going to stay in the same relationship to your spine. So I'll come back this way so you can see all of that. Just like that. Perfect. So that's the beginning part. So once you can get those little checklists done, just like so, now your chin is up, and now you're in the right spot. So from right here, now you can make this little mini shift and then load up the right leg, and everything will go away together. Now, when you make the little shift, you'd like to see that the golf club be in the same angle as it goes, and you'll see that I've loaded my weight into my right leg. When I do that, I should be able to say that that's the exact same position that I was at address, but my weight is shifted. And when I'm doing this, I want you to understand, because I got 2 balance points in my feet, that my weight is going from left to right, and I have about 80% of my weight right here at 7 o'clock, okay? And then, as you guys already know me, so from right here, as the club is continuing to go back, you'll see that now it's the exact same arc. Now, I put this here because this was what would happen if you turn early. The golf club will go way behind you. So from here, I make a little mini move, load up, and you can see how the shaft will trace that line. Now this line is from here to infinity, okay? So it will be at it, pointed still at it, like so. And the hands and arms will feel very involuntary with this motion. So right here, as I've loaded up my weight fully into my right leg, right about this position here is where we'll hit the 9 o'clock position. It will not be here, okay? Because a lot of people get this mixed up, is they say that this shaft has to match the spine. Well, if that's the case, then there's no forearm rotation with it, and I'm actually tilting my body. See? So when I load my weight up here, my spine, you can see how my golf club appears to be opening, okay? So why is that? Well, when I'm here and I make that little shift over, you'll see how the club face faces. When I bend over, you'll see that I'm in the same position right here where that toe is up, right there. Not perfectly up. See, that's rotated my forearm, but it's definitely not closed, right? Just like so. So when I go right here, you should be able to turn and face the golf club and be in the same position that you were at address, okay? So you wouldn't think that a lot can go wrong right there. So let's go over, because a lot of people say, I want to learn how to do it right. And then for me, when I teach people how to do it right, then I want to show them the differences of where things go wrong and why I'm teaching this way, okay? Now remember, you're dealing with a professional that's been doing that, 53 years old, I've been doing it since I was 19 years old. I've been a golf pro since I was 19. And so this is an accumulation of knowledge that's everywhere, okay? So when you go here, and nor will I teach everybody the same thing. And what I would like to call this golf swing is a mythical perfect golf swing. That again, the late Harvey Penick called it that. But I'm just putting some now, a little kinesiology and physics with it and ground pressure, right? So it's kind of more of a, I guess, a Harvey Penick on steroids. All right, so I digress. So what can happen here? So the very first thing would be trying to cock the hands, like so. And some people, I might get them to get the club head swinging a little bit, especially if they have done that for so long. You know, one of my lessons might be, hey, I'm just going to swing your hands over your shoulder. Well, that's the same shape and the same position that this puts you in, but you've never felt it. So for me to say keep the golf club in the same place, you already usually do that. You just have never learned how to move your body to the side. So everybody I teach might hear different things. On some of them 160 plus videos, you might hear different things. Again, so this is and let me preface this last little part. This works for people that you can go to a certain level of your strength level, your fitness level, where you are in your life currently. This may not pertain to people that are that like to feel the right hand underhand throw or the left hand backhand. This is more of a complete combination for the person that has maximum torque, maximum vertical, all of that. Okay, so here we go. So the other part would be that if you take the golf club and your arm goes away, you've been told to keep your arm straight, and when you keep your arm straight and separated from the body, then the right shoulder will raise too soon, rolling your hands. These are all things that can go wrong. Overactive legs, telling you to turn the body first. So this little mini move sets up a lot of things. It sets up from left to right here, and then that automatically starts to put pressure back to the left. Okay, so this would be our first step of the golf swing here. Okay, so guys, I'm going to make this a series for you. So in the next couple of days, we're going to talk about the next one, and the next one, these are going to be lengthy all the way through. So like I said, if you like and subscribe and share, and go to rkswingking.com for the Zoom lessons and the membership if you're interested in learning this one-on-one, or come see me at Country Hills. All right, everybody have a great day.